Hi, I'm Tina from Prep 101. In this video, I'm going to review basic set theory with you. So unions, intersections, and all the different parts of a Venn diagram. It's really important that you learn this thoroughly because it will come up again in Unit 2. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so for basic set theory, the first thing we're going to look at is just a Venn diagram. So if you draw a rectangle with two circles, those will represent A and B, and then there's a center to the two circles. Got a larger one down here for you to look at. So that's what you want to draw, quick rectangle around it. And we're going to talk about the different parts of the Venn diagram. So up here we have what we call the union formula. This union formula comes up in Unit 2 as well. So you need to make sure that you understand set theory really well because it comes up in Unit 2. And of course, if you don't understand it in Unit 1, it's going to cause you more grief in Unit 2. So this is what we call the or the union formula. Now, the one thing about the word or in math is it doesn't mean what people tend to think of it as in English. In the English language, if we say you're taking science or math, people usually think, okay, you're taking one or the other. But or in math, in the math language, means you can be in one or the other or both. So all three of these places, this number, and this number, all of those make up the number in A union B. N just stands for number, so how many elements are in there. And if you look at this formula, if we count the number in A, well, that's right there, plus the number in B, there's the number in B in orange. And if you notice, as I circled in pink and circled in orange, I added the middle twice. And so that's why the formula comes about, and that's why it has a minus A and B at the end here. So this upside down U kind of looks like an N. This stands for and. So that's A and B. Okay, so the union makes up all of this, the middle, and this, those three places. Everything except what's out here on the outside. So if we look at this larger picture here, and I talk about the different places, in here is the middle. So that's A and B. So N for number, and then A and B. And then if we look at this portion of the graph over here, this is in B, but it's not touching A. So that's number, B, and not A. So this A with a C means A complement. And so this means you're in B and you're not in A. And if we look at this portion of the graph over here, that's everything that's in A but not touching B. So that's number A and not B. So in A and in B complement, or in A and not in B. And then we have what's left is the outside. So there'll be some number out here. And that represents the number of things that are outside A and B, so in neither A and B. So we call it number A complement and B complement. That means it's not in A and it's not in B. And of course, we talked a minute ago about the union. So the union would be everything in yellow, all of those three places. So 1, 2, 3 would be the number in the union, which is in A or in B or in both. A or B or both. So a quick picture to show you the intersection. Intersection is what we call the and that's the middle. And of course the symbol is A and then kind of like an N, B. So that's in A and B at the same time. If we want to talk about the complement, then if A is everything in white here, then A complement is the shaded area. And we can always get the number in A complement by taking the number in the universe minus the number in A. That would be the number not in A. So let's do an example here. So draw a Venn diagram. And we've got number in A and not B. So where does that go? Number in A and not in B. So that would go here. It's sort of like a moon shaped here, right? That's all in A and not in B. Okay, and where does the 3 go? Well, this 5 is in A and not in B. But the 3 is in the middle. This is in A and B. And where would the 4 go? Well, it says A complement and B. So that means not in A and it's in B. Not in A and it's in B. So in other words, in B and not A. So that's this sort of moon shaped here. And the last number they give us is over here. Number A complement and B complement. A complement and B complement. So that means it's in neither. So that's the outside right there. Okay, so we call that not in A and not in B. So it says to find the union of A and B, A union B, using the diagram. Well, we know the union is 1, 2, 3 places. Everything except the 10 counts as the union. So the number in A union B, we can do 5 plus 3 plus 4. So 5 and 3, we get 8 plus 4 would be 12. And that's our total. And that would be your answer on the exam. Now, number B complement, union A. So there's two different ways we can do this one. We can shade on our diagram, or we can use the union formula. So let me write out the basic union formula that you're going to memorize. So write this out first. The number in A union B is number in A plus number in B minus number in both A and B. And when we want to modify this formula, we want to make the first, in this case, the first is B complement. So all of these A's have to turn into B complements. And then the second one in the diagram here in the question is an A. So all of these B's, the seconds, all have to become A's. So if we want number B complement union A, we take the number in the first, which is B complement, plus the number in the second, which is A, minus the number in the first and the second. And that would be our answer. So let's look up at our picture. Number not in B, B complement. So cover up B, not B is everything else. Don't forget the 10. A lot of people say 5, and of course that's wrong, because the total that's outside of B is 10 plus 5, so 15. So that's not in B, so 15 plus number in A. Again, the number in A is the whole circle A, so it's not 5. The number in all of A would be 5 plus 3. So the number in A here would be 8. And then this says not in B and in A, or A and not B, same thing, right? Not in B and in A. So look at your picture. Where is not in B and in A? So that would be this moon shaped here, this 5, okay, in A and not in B. So we minus 5. So 15 minus 5 is 10, 10 and 8, so 18. Now we can also shade everything here. We know that in words, B complement union A means not in B, or in A, or in both of those. Always the or both for a union. So not in B. Let's shade everything not in B. So cover up B, shade everywhere else. That's not B. So I'm shading out here, and I'm shading the A portion that isn't touching B. So that's all not B. Or it can also be an A, so shade anything of A you haven't counted yet. And when you have a complement, union, another letter, you always get the whole diagram except for one number shaded. So we have the 5, the 3, and the 10 shaded. The only number that's not shaded is the 4. So 5 plus 3 plus 10 is another way to get your answer with shading. And so same answer, just a different way to get there. And sometimes on the exam, they won't give you enough to use the formula, and they'll have to use the shading method. So I have seen that. It's not common, but I've seen it. So make sure you do know both methods just in case. Practice them both. Okay, so draw another Venn diagram. And in number 2, we've got the number in A union B is 150. The number in A is 80. The number in B is 90. And we want the number that's in both. So here, if we have a union and we have A and B, we can always just use the union formula. So let's write it up here. The number in A union B, do you remember your formula? Something plus something minus something. Well, it's the number in the first, which is A, plus the number in the second, which is B, minus the number in first and second. And so A is given to us as 80. B is given to us as 90, and we have the left side this time. We have A union B is 150. So we can fill that in, and that's how we can find A and B. So remember, you're not allowed to use a calculator, so don't use it when you're practicing. So think 8 plus 9, and then so that would be 17. So 80 plus 90 would be 170. You don't really have to bring everything across and worry about the negative. You can just think of it like this. 170 take away what number would be 150? 170 take away what would be 150? And that would be our answer. And so 170 take away 20 would be 150. And so our middle is 20. And you know, they might ask you something harder. They might ask you A and not B or something like that. And if they did that, then you would fill out your whole circle of A is 80. So if all of A is 80 and there's 20 in this middle portion here, then this sort of moon shaped here would be 60, so that it adds up to 80. And if B has to add up to 90, then if this middle here is 20, then what's left over here, 20 plus 70 would be 90. And we can get our diagram. And so for example, if I asked you, let's say A and not B, that's in A and not in B. I would still have to go through everything I went through to find the middle, A and B. But then after that, what I did here is I took the 80, take away the middle. And so in A and not in B would be 60, for example. Okay, down here, number 3. So again, you can draw a Venn diagram if you want to see what it looks like. What we have here is A is all of this. And they're just asking us not in A. So this is a pretty easy one. So the number that's outside of A is the whole universe, which is the whole diagram, which is 120 in this case, minus how many are in A. So we take 120 minus the number in A is 50 here. And so that will give us a total of 70 that are outside of A. And we don't know how much is in B here and how much is outside here. We just know that the total there would be 70. Okay, so sometimes we're given a question and it's given as sets. Okay, so this is pretty common on exams over the years, where instead of giving you, you know, number in A and B, number in A and not B, things like that, they'll give you A as a list of numbers. So if A is 1 to 5 and B is 2, 4, 6, 8, and the universe is from 1 to 8, we want to find all of these things here. So the first thing I personally do is I write down what's not in A and what's not in B, because some people like to work with that. So if A is 1 to 5, then what's left in the universe that's not in A? It would be 6, 7, and 8. And if B is 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, then what's left in the universe would be 1, 3, 5, 7. So that's our question now. And in part A, we want number not in A or in B. So this is not in A or in B. And of course, always or both. Well, let's look at what's not in A first. Not in A is 6, 7, 8. Or it can be in B, which is 2, 4, 6, 8. Or means you write down everything that's in either of them and just don't write anything twice. So A complement union B would be everything not in A, which is 6, 7, and 8. And then anything also in B that we haven't counted yet. So we've already counted the 6 and 8. So 2 and 4 are also in B. So the number, the N stands for number. That means count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements. So if it just asks for the set A complement union B, you would say 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. But if they ask for N for number, then you count them. Okay, in part B, we want in A and not in B. So that means it has to be in both of them. We don't just list everything that's in one, comma, list everything in the other. We have to circle what's in both at the same time. So A, we know is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and not B is 1, 3, 5, 7. So we want the elements that occur in both of those at the same time. And so what occurs in both? 1 occurs in both, 3 is in both, and 5 is in both. So the set of in A and not in B would be 1, 3, and 5. And the number A and not B would be, how many elements do we have here? Well, we have 1, 3, 5. So 1, 2, 3 elements. And that would be our answer. Now, part C wants the number in what? Write down what you think you're finding here. B intersect a complement. What does that mean in words here? So this means in B and not in A. So it's an and again. So B is 2, 4, 6, 8, and not A is 6, 7, 8. And we want what's in both of these. Or you can look at B and then look at A and just circle anything that's in B and not in A. Some people find it easier to just work with A. Some people find it easier to write a complement. So it's up to you, as long as you get all the elements that are in B and not in A. So in this case, if we look at these, what's in B and also in a complement, or not in A, would be the 6 and the 8. So B intersect a complement would be 6, 8. And what would be the number in B and not A? Well, that would be the 6 and 8 makes 1, 2 elements. And that would be our answer. So draw another Venn diagram here. We've got the number in U is 25. We've got B complement and A is 5. B and A complement is 7. And A complement and B complement is 10. So let's see if you can label these on your Venn diagram. What would your picture look like here? So our whole picture adds up to 25. So where does not in B and in A go? Not in B and in A goes right here. That's sort of moon-shaped. Then the next one, the 7, is B and not A. So in B and not in A should go here. And then they give us this one here, the 10, not in A and not in B. So in other words, in neither. So that goes out here. So how do you finish your Venn diagram? What do you do here? What do you think? Well, we've got 25 is the total of the whole diagram, and we know all except for the middle. So we take 25 minus 5 minus 7 minus 10, and that will give us how many's left. So that's 10, 17, 22. So 25 minus 22 would be 3 left for the middle. And then we want number in A complement. So that means outside of A. So cover up A. Don't forget about the 10 out here. And everything not in A would be the 7 plus the 10. And so number in A complement, 7 plus 10 is 17. You could also add the number in A and do 25 minus that. That would give you the same answer. So if that's your preference, you could take the number in A complement is number in the universe minus the number in A. So 25 minus the number in A, 5 plus 3 is 8. And you're going to get the same answer. It's just a different way to think about it. So it's up to you. When you've got a Venn diagram, you can use either. Okay, so for our last example here, example 6, draw a Venn diagram and see what you can label on it. And you can hit pause if you need a few minutes to try and get it labeled. So the universe is 135, and we know that the outside, not in A and not in B, is 40. So the trick is that if you go to label A and B, you don't know the middle. And so we need to know how much is in the middle based on, well, how much is in the union. We don't know the union yet either. But every time you know the total of the outside out here is 40 and the total of the whole picture is 135, remember everything else is the union. So number in A union B is the number in the universe minus the number in the outside. So you can write that down as a formula. So we have number in A or B or both would be the number in the universe, which is in this case 135, minus the number on the outside, which is 40. And so that tells us that 95 is the total of what's in A over here, but not in B, what's in B and not in A, and what's in the middle. So that helps us because now we can use our union formula because we already know A is 35 and B is 75. So if we know the union, we can now find what's in the middle. So write down your union formula.
something plus something minus something. So we get number in A plus number in B minus number in A and B. And so our union goes on the left, so we've got 95 over there. So number in A on the right is 35 plus number in B is 75. And then we can find what's in the middle. So we've got 95 equals 35 plus 75. 70 plus 30 is 100, so that's 110. And so 110 take away what number would give us 95? Think of it that way. 110 take away what would be 95. So the number in A and B is 15. So I can take that up to my diagram and label everything. So if 15 goes in the middle, well, if all of A was 35, the whole circle is 35, then 20 goes here. And if the whole circle of B is 75 and the middle is 15, then 60 goes here. So now we have our picture. And so if we want the number in A union B complement, that's what we were asked for, well, write down what your formula would say here. What would it be? So it'd be the number in A plus the number not in B minus number in A and not B. And so we can fill in everything we know. Number in A, we were given in the question, 35. Number not in B, let's look at our picture. There's all of B. So not in B here would be the 40 on the outside plus the 20 over here. So not B would be 40 and 20 is 60. Minus in A and not in B. In A and not in B. So in A and not in B would be this 20 right here. So we've got 35 plus 60, so 95 minus 20 would be 75. And if you wanted to do that one using shading, then you would say everything in A or not in B or both. So in A or not in B or both. So let's shade it. In A would be all of this. In A. Or not in B, so cover up B, shade everywhere else, or both. So that would be everything except the 60, or we could add 40 plus 20 plus 15. And so 40 plus 20 is 60, plus 15 is, again, 75. And so our total is the same whether we use the shading or whether we use the formula.
I hope you found this video helpful. If so, see more videos in this playlist. Don't forget to join the Facebook Study Hub. Use the link in the video description box. Also, I hope to see you at my prep sessions, where I'll show you lots of tricks on how to ace your exam. I'll go through every problem that you need to solve, and you'll solve them with confidence by the end of my prep sessions. Many of our prep sessions are free, so go to prep101.com now for more details and to sign up. I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.